Guys, we're at 97 subscribers.
We are 3 people away.
3 more.
We need 3. And then, as Jaydon said,
Wait,
we'll
that
get extra discriminatory on this podcast.
You know what? Just don't play with me. I can get real discriminatory, real like it can get real. You know what? Let me stop. I'm about to say something crazy.
Oh, he about to say something discriminatory.
Guys,
No.
right before this, Jaydon said that he wants to lick Ganesh's gooch.
Hey,
See,
yo.
why are you getting freaky on like no? Nobody said like you need to chill out, yo. You need to chill out.
You're not getting that discriminatory,
bro. See, why you even focused? See, look at you. It's because you want to get in on the action. Look at you. That wasn't even said. Now, could it happen? Absolutely, but like that's not the point. The point is you brought it up on your own. It wasn't even on the table. You just want to get your gooch licked, and that's what it really is.
That shit not happen. Welcome back to the pod. No Gooches are getting licked.
Welcome to the Brodent Royale
not
podcast, episode 40. What is it? 44? 45? No, 44.
Shit. Let me check.
It's 44.
43.
It's definitely 44.
43. It's 43.
Yeah, it's 43. It's 43.
43.
It's 43?
Yeah, it is. And I know something got tired of you telling me I'm wrong all the goddamn time. Fuck.
It is 43. Well, welcome back either way. If you haven't seen us before, welcome. You're exploring us for the first time. You're exploring more than you probably thought. My name is Ganesh.
I'm so sorry.
I'm joined with
that was your
my
intro.
My name is Braulio.
My name is Jay.
We're just 3 guys with 3 gooches.
Some with more gooch juice than others.
Hey, yo, juice is crazy.
Yo, why are you confessing? Why are you out of yourself like that?
I'm never out of myself. I'm not talking about me.
But welcome to the Gooch Pod. I promise you we're not this freaked out all the time. We usually talk about nerd stuff. We usually keep it pretty not PG, but definitely not rated M for mature like we are in this intro.
That's false.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? You guys be saying the most outlandish shit. As soon as I start talking, you guys are like, whoa.
Because you always act like you above the shit, and then
I never act like I'm above the shit. I just like something. I just don't partake in this shit. It's a completely different thing.
So why you be watching in the corner? You be in the cut chair and shit. It's weird. Come get your goose lick, yo.
Yo, the chapters are gonna be interesting for this.
Chapter 1 intro parentheses gooch like
parentheses
anyway.
Come get your gooch licked.
Anyway, how y'all doing, yo? How y'all doing, yo?
My gooch is doing pretty good, bruh.
Oh my god.
It's pretty relaxed.
Go. Release.
Oh, it's released, bruh. Other than that, I am stressed. My gooch is stressed out, bro.
He tight in there. He tight.
My shit vibrating.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh nah! Don't start saying ew now. Don't start. You should have started saying ew 5 minutes ago.
Come on now. All right.
It's just vibrating screens.
It's just spiraling. It's just like
already.
It's going to shit
2
so
seconds
fast.
in, dude.
Oh, we're more than 2 seconds in, bro. So, yeah, I've been going through it as per usual. You know, I might even have to take a pause from the pod. Potentially, we'll see. I might do some checking.
This is the first time hearing of this.
Well, hopefully you can make it to our anniversary episode.
Oh
Fingers crossed, bro.
No.
Gooch is crossed.
Oh my god.
Yo, Gooch is crossed, bro.
Oh, no.
Yeah, work has just been piling. It has been piling, and duty calls. Speaking of the Gooch, duty calls. just got a lot of tasks. Not sure if I'm gonna be able to balance it all out. So, really got to prioritize my time as much as I do want to spend more time on the pod. I'm not sure if I can devote that much time, but yeah, I've just got a lot of stuff planned ahead for this upcoming month.
No.
Yeah, but that's what's been going on with me. Just a whole lot of tasks. My Gooch is struggling, bro.
Yeah, as for me, same amount of stress, really. Just been
Oh, your
working.
Gooch vibrating too?
Oh yeah, dude, it's doing good loopy
Let me
loops
see.
and pulls.
Braulio revealed his Gooch to Ganesh and Jaydon. It consumed them all.
AKA my camera cut off a few times and I just don't have the footage, so enjoy the episode.
I've been good, y'all. I have very bad anxiety post school. I feel like I have 17 papers to do, and I don't got shit to do, for real. So it's just me and trying to utilize that anxiety to put it towards something productive until it calms down, for real. Otherwise, I'm chilling.
My boy got so much time on his hands, he don't know what to do with it.
Not really, because a lot happened, and I'm trying to figure out what I could talk about.
Damn.
I went to a steakhouse. That's where I
Oh.
got this from. Tomahawk steak is good. Porterhouse was
You had multiple steaks.
Oh yeah. No, we went crazy. We went as a family. We went crazy in there. But it was a great time. I feel like I just had a good weekend overall. That, had spent time with my grandfather and my aunt, whatever.
Shout out to the fam.
Another thing that was really great, bro. The watches. Since I had all this free time, I was watching hella shit, and I'm broke. So this really means a lot to me. I need you to understand the sacrifice that it was to go see Mandalorian Grogu. Okay?
Yo.
I emptied my pockets for that shit. And for once, I wasn't disappointed. Yeah! It's not questionable or disappointing. I'm happy. I am. Out of the movie theater, I was over here. I was wilding a little bit. I gave it a 9.7. It's somewhere between 9.7 and 9.4 for me.
Damn.
I thoroughly enjoyed this film, yo.
I'm gonna give my out of theater my out of theater rating after watching it. I'm gonna give it a 7.5. A 7.5.
That's high for Ganesh.
That is high. I will say I like Rogue One more. I think Rogue One is probably just my favorite out of the newer series of Star Wars movies that we've been getting. But
valid. If you're talking about how I compare it to other Star Wars, I mean, it's definitely ahead of the sequel trilogy, all of them.
I'll agree with that as well.
In terms of original trilogy, it's under all of the original trilogy. I'm not gonna hold you. Prequel series, the only one I would put it above is probably Attack of the Clones.
That's fair, yeah.
Which is crazy because that's one of my favorites, by the way.
Really?
But Attack of the Clones is one of my favorites.
It's definitely one of the weaker ones, though, in terms of overall audience scores.
Objectively, it's one of the weaker ones.
Yeah.
But
I'll respect it.
So,
not better than Revenge of the Sith, but
no. That's peak. Relax. I would say on par with Phantom Menace.
That's fair. I will say that's a fair rating to equivalent.
Now, my thing is, a lot of OG Star Wars fans probably don't feel that way. Like, when I was in the theater, there was this one dude who was, like, bitching and moaning about the soundtrack, so that's where I'm going to start.
Oh, my God. I have my thoughts on the soundtrack, too, bro.
I'm sorry. I don't know if you about to shit on it, but for a non-John Williams Star Wars soundtrack, that shit was gas. Again, if you're looking for John Williams in a Star Wars movie, you will be severely disappointed. But looking at the soundtrack for what it is,
all right,
I liked it.
Totally fair. You're more than welcome to have that opinion. I will say, right off the bat, It had high hopes for the soundtrack. I was enjoying the soundtrack. It was up until they got onto, I think it was the Planet of the Huts, where they introduced this weekend ass beat for the Mandalorian. Straight up sounded straight like a weekend type beat. I just thought with it being Star Wars and within this sort of universe, it would be more ethereal kind of sounding. It wouldn't really go into sort of like, drum tracks and kind of a consistent beat that was following it. I will say though, I really do like the world building that they did in this movie. And they even had some fun little horror elements, like for example the gladiator arena, when all of them break out.
I loved the eldritch horror demon shits in the gladiator pit.
I thought that was a really cool take. I thought that was a side of Star Wars that we don't really get to explore in live action, and I'm actually glad that we actually do get to see how open world Star Wars really is. We get the basics. We got the huts, but it's nice. It's nice to see the different creatures that are in the Star Wars lore.
But you know what? Let's get into the story a bit, because I want to give like a synopsis so people know what it's about, so that way what you're getting into a bit. So this is gonna be some spoiler type shit, whatever. So like I said, you really don't have to watch this movie other than for the fact that you're like, and I like Mandalorians and I think Grogu's cute, right?
Yeah.
So
the movie is about like 2 hours, a little over 2 hours long. So.
And it starts and concludes its own episode. It doesn't like branch off into something else or anything like that. It's a standalone. Genuinely, it's a standalone.
It is like a special sort of thing. It does kind of feel like maybe like 4 episodes in one.
I was just about to say that. It definitely does feel like 4 episodes in one. Like you would know where it would be 4 episodes if you watched Mandalorian. But if you didn't watch Mandalorian,
honestly,
it's a 2 hour movie. It is.
I feel like even without watching The Mandalorian, you're still able to kind of see the different parts of the movie and how they pace it out. Where, they'll spend a good 40 minutes in one specific spot. And then the other... Yeah. It does a fairly good job at kind of dividing up its time and dividing up the plots that kind of lead to different points within the story, but I do feel like they could have executed it a little bit better.
I mean, the thing is, like, in comparison to Demon Slayer was hard chop. You can see where the next episode was supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like it transitioned smoothly enough. But like you said, it could have been delivered. There was room for improvement in that. But in terms of the story, again, so Mandalorian and Grogu, he basically doing like jobs for the New Republic and they shit, hunting Imperials, all that shit, whatever. They have this one Imperial who they don't even know his face. And in order to get intel on that shit, he has to do this gig for the Huts, and essentially as soon as you start working for the Huts always fuck your shit over. And that's pretty much the plot of the movie. You know what I mean? For my Clone Wars watchers and my Rebels watchers, I feel like there's a lot that's like, Easter eggy, that is fun, you know what I mean? But like, I feel like, so I enjoyed it because I'm a Star Wars fanboy, right? But it was littered with Easter eggs and shit, you know what I mean? Characters or whatever like that. Like for example, Rada the Hutt.
Yo, Jeremy Allen White playing this buff-ass Mucinex germ, bruh.
Bro, you gotta understand, right? If you know anything about the Hutts in Star Wars, you think this fat-ass slime slug thing, whatever like that. Imagine that shit standing straight up, built like a super alien bodybuilder.
Straight Larry the Lobster type build, bruh.
Arm bigger than your torso, right? Wielding 2 battle axes, right? And he in the gladiator pit talking about some laying on people and shit, jumping on people and shit, slapping them with his tail, right? But then like you get to talking to him and he's really the nicest person ever.
Straight John Bernthal. Straight John Bernthal in his
dead ass. He's like the nicest person ever. Like
he out here getting back massages in the back of the gladiator pit. in between sessions. Just like, yeah, I don't want to go back to my home planet.
Yeah, they just want to kill me for real. I don't even want to be Jabba the Hutt's son, because he's Jabba the Hutt's son, which is the Easter egg. If you watch Clone Wars, and I mean the very first Clone Wars like interaction outside of like the 2D animation thing, you remember that Clone Wars started with a movie, and they were escorting a baby Hutt to Jabba. That baby Hutt in that movie is Rada in this movie. So seeing that little ass baby Hutt turn into...
That's dope. That's dope, actually.
The Gooch returned for a second strike.
Yeah, dude, it was like seeing that and recognizing him in that regard. Oh, look at Tino. Oh,
Tino was caught in the crossfire.
But seeing that, I now know how my family members feel when they see me after seeing me as a kid, But yeah, so they like the Hutts are like, yeah, go rescue our nephew because it's his auntie and uncle in charge of the Hutt cartel. But really, they just want to kill him because that nigga got blood rights to the shit.
And so Rada wants to stay in sort of that same planet where he feels like he's safe. And his contract is ending up with the gladiators. So his last fight's coming up. He's like, it's all right. I don't even want to go back to my home planet. I'm just going to wait out until my contract is up at the gladiator pit. And then I'm going to be home free. Only thing is, he ain't going to be home free. You know there's a twist. You know there's a little twist when it comes to these sort of things.
Mm-hmm.
They setting him up with his last battle. They setting him up. It's going to be a fight to the death. No matter what. So they're bringing him out.
Niggas at him.
They just keep throwing people at him. And he doesn't even know it yet. So the Mandalorian finds out about this. And he goes to kind of like break him out without his permission. He's just like, look, I'm breaking you out. Don't worry about it. They're plotting to kill you. Rada hears this. He's like, guards! Guards!
I was like, you sold me. Sold.
Mandalorian ends up getting straight jumped by these guards. And Grogu gets taken away. Mandalorian passes out. He wakes up. Bam! He's smack dab in the middle of the gladiator pit.
Yeah, you in the pit too now.
Who's his opponent, bruh?
Big Rada. Again, imagine you like a normal sized person, and you have this like 12-foot tall giant slug nigga looking at you angry as hell with two battle axes and bull. Like, come on, bro.
Like I said, buff-ass Mucinex germ.
I would have pissed myself, yo. Because like,
crazy,
all you gotta do is swing his hand one time, your whole rib cage done. Like, now I will say this: the action in this film is upped by like a million, bro. Like, low key, Mandalorian was like tough in the show, or whatever. But like, this nigga was moving like Punisher in this shit, right? Not untouchable, but very like
methodical,
savvy with throwing hands, sharp shooting.
Experienced.
You know what I'm saying? But again, he's not untouchable because there are various points in this film where if that nigga did not have that Beskar invincible armor, he would have been dead.
And you know what? It does get to a point.
It does get to a point, right?
He ends up obviously breaking out. He causes a distraction, which leads to not only Mandalorian, but also Rada and also Grogu being able to escape the gladiator arena, which then I believe he reports back to the Hutts, right? Being like,
no, he reports back to the New Republic. Because Rada tells him like the nigga you looking for is actually the nigga who had my contract. So the Hutts were basically two-time in the New Republic, and they were essentially going to tell them, hey, and the guy you're looking for is this nigga, while telling that nigga to get the fuck out of town. So that way they would never be able to catch him, and then the Hutts would collect money from both the New Republic for the info and the dude for telling him, "Hey, get out of there." You know what I mean? The Hutts ain't got no loyalty to anybody but themselves for real. So Rada told him that, and then Mando, Rada, and Zeb, or is it Geb or Zeb? I think it's Zeb from
Zeb.
Rebels.
Yeah, Zeb.
right? And that's the rebels Easter egg. Zeb, Rada, and Mando go and scoop that nigga up, run up in his base, abduct him from his house, all that shit.
Straight have him hung up like a whale, bro.
Yeah, they had Rada hung
They
up like
free
a whale.
they free willied my boy, bro.
But in fairness, like, again, this is a nigga who could swing his arm one time and break your whole ribcage. Yeah, I am stringing you up like a whale. The fuck. But you two-time the Hutts gonna get you back. So they essentially put a hunter out on Mando, who is Embo, the nigga with the hat that we saw.
Yo,
In the
that
trailer.
motherfucker was cold.
Aura farming like crazy.
The
I ain't
whole
never.
movie.
Yo, Piccolo would have been proud, yo. Piccolo would have been proud of that nigga aura farming. He got floodlight rain aura farm. I said I ain't never seen that combo before. But yeah, Embo picks up Mandalorian and delivers him to the Hutts, to which he then had to fight in the Hutts pit. Now, if you watch Return of the Jedi, you remember the Hutt pit had the Rancor in it. I'm gonna let you know right now, I'm taking the Rancor every time. Other than what fucking the Mandalorian fought. Yo, like, so first you got these little ass swimming eels with spears who are like they're like people size, but they're like big ass eels with spears trying to stab you, right? Again, Mando is like Space Punisher in this bitch, so he fooled all of them, right? And he's thinking like, yeah, and I'm like that. Now I killed all your niggas in this pit. Now what?
Poison.
This nigga had an alien dragon snake in the entirety of the pit is its nest.
Straight Chamber of Secrets looking ass snake. Mando ends up getting poison scratched by this snake. And he's still fighting.
Again, all of the hands he's been throwing up until this point, nothing got past the armor, nothing slipped in any of the cracks. He fight this big ass water snake, and then one of the little fangs pierce him in the lung a little bit. Bro's cooked. But then we have a great moment for me. I loved this. Grogu has his little boy's own adventure type scenario as a result of this. So ever since he got kidnapped, Grogu and like, you remember those little mechanic dudes in I think it was Rise of Skywalker? Yeah. The little mechanic dudes and Grogu.
That's all you need to know.
They speak English. Yeah, they remind me of the Minions for some reason. I don't know.
That's literally what they are, bro. They're Disney's Minions.
Yeah, they're Star Wars Minions. And they go rescue Mandalorian. And it was so funny because, like, again, in retrospect, like, Grogu's not tall. So seeing anything that Grogu is taller than is so crazy. And he's taller than those little things. So imagine you have all these little tiny mech dudes, right? And then you have Grogu hunched over in this spaceship talking about some, like, he big body. That nigga barely 2 apples tall.
No, for real.
Like, what, yo? But, you know, through Grogu and those little mechanic dudes help, they help him escape and shit. But again, the nigga's poison. So Grogu basically scavenges the forest and stuff, taking care of his papa, making sure his papa don't die to some poison. And it was so adorable because it's like he made a little hut. Like, if you remember in Empire Strikes Back, Yoda made that hut that he was living in. We saw
he
Grogu
makes a
making
mini hut. Yeah, he makes a mini hut for the Mandalorian for him to recover.
It was so cute, yo. It was so cute.
And the Mandalorian does end up basically dying, only to be revived by Grogu.
Yeah, because he gets the medicine from like a local.
Yeah. And so once he's able to recover, Mandalorian's straight back to business. He's like, I got some unfinished business here, since these motherfuckers don't want to leave me alone.
Bro said instant spin back. I'm up, instant spin back. Spin back. He said, y'all thought y'all had me? Let me show you something special. Right? So Rada was escorted on a gun runner before he got captured by the Hutts, because they did eventually catch him. And when they caught Rada, they basically like crashed his ship and everything, whatever. And when they did that, like Mandalorian found the old ship, so he had all of his old equipment, like the fibro blaster and everything like that. Like all of it was on the gun runner, so he just basically walked back in the hut base with his old blaster kit, ready for the boxing. And he had like two was it? You call them machetes or hatchets? Like I don't know. I call them machetes.
Yeah, I'll say machetes.
Yeah, and him and like it cultivated into like a big ass fight because they free Rada, right? And Embo has this like wolf dog thing that's been like basically terrorizing Grogu since they got their first encounter.
That's
and
like Grogu and the little guys is like big bad, just that wolf dog, just hunting them on their little side quest.
Yeah, and then it basically is like Mando and Embo boxing, Rada and his aunt and uncle boxing. So you're watching two Hutts throw down. Like I ain't never seen
Hutts them
throw
freaky ass Hutts, yo.
Bro, do you know how crazy it is to see these big ass slug monsters go like, and I'm like, wait, they actually squabbling. Like at one point, Rada rolled on the ground to get there faster and then uppercutted his uncle. I was like, where do y'all learn combat at? They got Hutt combat? Like I don't know.
Hell yeah.
I don't know, yo. But Mando high diffs Embo. He barely beats him low key because if he didn't have that vibro blaster staff thing with the electric shock at the end, he wasn't beating that nigga. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like it would have been a lot longer of a fight.
Yeah, Endo definitely had the hands, but Mando ends up taking down Endo.
Rada fucking crushes the floor and drops him and his aunt and uncle into the pit. Crazy. But Grogu, after taming the wolf dog, because we know Grogu not squabbling for real, he said, shh, come be my pet. Come be my pet. It's okay. But Grogu saved Rada life from falling in the pit. He used the Force and shit, man.
He saved Rada, though.
Yeah.
Screw the mother Hutts.
But I love Grogu's like involvement in this movie. Like Lil Bro was not just there for the shits and giggles as a mascot. Like he was really there doing important shit for real.
And then we had Sigourney Weaver making some cameos in the Republic.
Yeah, she's basically our replacement Leia.
Yeah, pretty much. Which honestly is not a bad spot for Sigourney Weaver. I feel like if there was anybody to sort of replace Princess Leia, I think Sigourney Weaver kind of does fit that spot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she kind of.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You good.
I was just gonna say all that's well ends well.
Yeah, everything ends up well. Rada gets to disappear and not have to run the Hutt cartel.
Endo's still alive.
Embo's still alive, but that was just a job. Like Embo don't really got beef for real. He was just doing a job.
Yeah, there was like a mutual respect there between Embo and the Mandalorian, I fear.
He's like, you one of them ones. You a real one. You had them hands for real. But I'm gonna see you. I'm gonna catch you. Don't let me catch you on the wrong side of space again, little nigga.
Yeah, no. I guess we did the out of theater reaction. What do you feel like after letting it settle in?
Yeah, after discussing everything, I'll give it a 9.5.
It's pretty solid.
I'll give it a 9.5. I didn't the weekend track thing that you were talking about didn't really bother me, but I can understand it being a thing and being a little annoying. There were some parts in the pacing that lost me just a smidge. Now it picked up with something interesting not long after. You know what I mean? So it's not like Demon Slayer where I'm kind of like the whole flow was disrupted or anything like that. No. But I don't know. I think everything was meaningful. Nothing was too serious. I think it was just a really good, fun Star Wars action family movie, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. I'd probably still stick with my 7.5. You know, I feel like after reviewing it, same points still stick out to me. The soundtrack, maybe because I watched it in Dolby, that kind of just hearing the soundtrack really stood out to me.
But you know what's so crazy? You said that when he got to the hut thing, when he went to go like do the stealth mission for Rada, like it was more of that than it was when he was on Now Hutta. So like,
I don't know. I feel like the soundtrack didn't really match the pacing for me, and also the pacing in itself was also kind of wishy-washy. I definitely feel like there could have been more of a flow to it, especially when it came to like telling the different stories. For example, when it went back to the Rebel spaceship, and also kind of just the overall way that they did deliver on the pacing. I feel like it could have been adjusted better with some more reworks in post, but nonetheless, I do think that it's still worth a watch, even if you haven't really gotten into Star Wars in general. I feel like there is a lot of world building when it comes to this, but I don't think that they do too much where if you haven't seen a Star Wars movie before, this is going to seem alien to you, which is probably the intention, but at the same time, it's still a good watch. I think it's a great movie to watch with the fam, with some friends. But yeah, no, I wouldn't expect too much on like continuity when it comes to like, oh, this is a must watch for like Star Wars and just keeping up with the continuity.
Like this is very much a watch on a Friday evening and then go and eat like a cheeseburger and fries type of movie.
Yeah. But yeah, that's our thoughts on The Mandalorian.
Yeah, Mandalorian Grogu.
A Star Wars story. Long ass title.
Yeah.
That whole time.
What about you? Yeah.
That whole entire time, I was struggling with my technology.
Yo.
Damn, is that why you didn't cut in? I was like, yo, he's OD silent. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I couldn't cut in. What am I gonna say? You
could ask questions.
You guys explained the whole movie to me. There's nothing I can say to that.
Broke it down.
You summarized the movie. I didn't watch the movie. There's nothing I can add to that.
I still think you should watch it though.
Yeah, I'll watch it. I don't remember half the shit you said anyway.
Hey, yo.
Yo. So you said fuck us? Okay.
Listen,
okay.
Let me explain my perspective. Turns out I stopped recording at some point, like 6 minutes into the recording. Realized that shit.
So you did what I did.
Started recording, and then I started choking, right? Like, so I had like an itch in my throat. I started choking, like coughing a lot. And so I went to grab water. I came back. Tina was bothering me, and then turns out I stopped my recording again. So I started again, and then I just sat here still, and my ADHD was just like brain off. So yeah,
crazy. Yo.
It wasn't because of you that I don't remember anything you said. It's because of this.
It's okay, twin. I understand. It happened to me too.
I feel like I was like surviving.
We can cut this part out. How far are we into the recording?
We are 40 minutes in.
God damn!
Damn. Okay, we're cutting this part. Guys.
I
summarized the whole movie.
Yes, well, we did because
it's just like, what's going on?
My bad, yo, we got caught up.
You said Act 1, Scene 3. I
didn't think we were gonna go that far. That's why I was gonna leave it. I was gonna leave it at
you
gotta give us like a signal when we're at like 15-minute intervals. Just be like 30 minutes.
I didn't know how. Oh, I was going to start shit, but like, listen,
we're gonna create like a word code or something.
Jaydon and I had this discussion where he did not. He believes.
Fuck you.
He believes that his
you.
Devil May Cry review was so long because we didn't let him do season 1 the week before, and I told him, even without that, you still would go on for mad long.
No,
that shit was long.
And he was like,
that's
and he said I told him One Piece, right? One Piece season 2 did the same thing. He was like, okay, I'll give you that one.
And I said, I said I give you.
And
that.
then you just did it again. You just did it again.
I wasn't even trying to. I gave a general synopsis and then we started going into specifics. I said, well, if we go into specifics, fine then.
You know what? That just proves how long this damn movie was. It was 4 episodes.
That's
It
true.
was 4 episodes
That's
in
true.
one movie.
That's
4
true.
episodes long, yeah.
Me and Jaydon have
This
an
wasn't my
ongoing
fault.
debate. Ongoing debate.
Fuck you. Like I said, the only one I'm not giving to you is Devil May Cry because I told y'all, let me review season 1 and get all my other shit out beforehand, and you didn't let me. I don't want to
I
hear.
think Ganesh would agree with me because you didn't even just talk about season 1. You talked about freaking. You talked about
Yes,
the games. Like you talked about
all of which I would have did season 1 that review. Because then I could have gave all that preludes and said, oh yeah, they touched on this in the game, that in the game, and just left it at
Man,
that.
if we were on an island, like a plane crash, and we were like only survivors on an island, I don't know if we would make it. Just like
Yo,
the hell
don't
kind of
play with me.
segue?
Don't play with me, yo. Don't play with me, yo.
Alright, screw it, y'all.
Don't play with me.
Next segment, we talk about Lord of the Flies.
That's what I'm saying. You gonna try and talk Lord of the Flies?
Try and sneak it
Don't
in
play with
there.
me.
I tried beforehand too, but you stopped it. I couldn't.
So we watched Lord of the Flies. It dropped on Netflix.
Long
A
ass
group of
show,
kids.
yo.
It is a long ass show, but I thought it was pretty good. Honestly, no, it wasn't a long ass show. It was like what, 5 episodes?
Listen, it was 4
Let me tell you
episodes.
something.
Okay,
Let me tell
That's
you something.
like 2
Ganesh.
Mandalorian and Grogu's.
Let me tell you something, Ganesh. Okay? Me and Braulio have a certain condition that you may not have, and it's called attention deficit hyperactive disorder. Okay?
Ganesh, I know you think
I'm
that-
listening.
I know you think that this is an
That
excuse.
show
I know you think it's an
triggered the
excuse.
fuck out of it so bad,
Dude.
bro. We like
Like I get that. Like I know what they were doing artistically speaking. Very cool, like the very slow.
Yo,
like,
the
suspense
leaves
building.
were red.
the leaves were red. Oh my god, the leaves are red and the curtains were blue.
But yo,
Dog, it took me 2 weeks to watch that shit.
I
It took me 2 weeks to watch that shit because
didn't
some
finish.
some of the drop offs of how long it took to get through that shit was just so bad I had to pause and do something else.
It was very
Again.
hard to sit through, and it's not even the fault of the thing, like of the show. I just think if you are a person with ADHD, unless you are very passionate about Lord of the Flies, which will cause you to hyperfixate on it, then that you're gonna have a tough time getting through that. Just pacing wise, but it's
And not for
definitely a
nothing.
purpose, a choice that was made on purpose. I respect it for that. It was very like almost like psychological, I would say.
It was very
Yeah.
psychological.
Very. I mean,
Very
the original book is very psychological. I
Yeah.
mean, we don't have to touch on a synopsis for Lord of the Flies.
Chapter
But-
1.
Yeah, I feel like if you don't understand Lord of the Flies, like I don't know, yo. Like I feel like everybody
Essential-
know Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, but if just in case you haven't heard of Lord of the Flies, just know there's a plane crash. A bunch of kids are stranded on an island, specifically boys. A bunch of boys are stranded on an island, and they struggle to kind of figure out who holds power over the group. A lot of things happen in the book. You're good, Braulio.
It's a
A lot of
commentary.
things.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
It's a commentary on psychology, nature of humanity, and civilization, and the devolvement of civilization. That's essentially the core of the themes of what it's about.
Which
know what
honestly
I mean?
we could dive into regarding those topics. Just
Yeah.
based on certain characters like Piggy, Ralph, you know.
Jack, let me tell y'all
Jack.
something.
Let me tell y'all
Jack?
something about Jack, bro.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you
y'all
something.
y'all don't know Jack, bro.
Let me tell you something. If I was on that fuck ass island, yo, Jack would not have made it past night 1. He would not have seen the next. Bro, it would have been up. He would have been done up in his sleep, yo. Because Jack represents like the lust for power and control and being in charge and the corruption of that. and it's basically like the linchpin for like the disintegration of their civilization and their civility.
He represents that sort of chaos that comes with the power.
That lust for power. And let me tell you something. Kid me was very intuitive. If I was on that fuck ass island, the moment he would have started talking crazy and everything like that, I said, no, we gotta get that nigga in his sleep. We gotta get that nigga in his sleep. I would have told Ralph, I said, listen, either you doing it or I'm doing it. Okay?
Somebody needs some initiative.
Somebody need to get that nigga going because he gonna get the rest of us killed. And did. Because, with him and his antics and his bullshit or whatever like that, results in like two of the characters getting killed. Not gonna say who, because we don't need to get all. Actually,
it's spoilers.
Should I say who?
Yeah,
it's a spoiler. This is a spoiler pod. We get into the spoilers. If you haven't reviewed the content that we were talking about beforehand, just fair premise. We are talking about spoilers.
I mean, we just give the whole synopsis for Mandalorian Grogu. If you made it to this point, we do spoilers. I'm so sorry.
Chapter 20.
Chapter 20,051. But yeah, Jack inadvertently gets Simon and Piggy killed.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Piggy, aka Nicholas. Put some respect on his name.
Yo, put respect on Big Nicky, yo. Don't play with him, yo. That
Simon
nigga
was a
was
little
all
freaky,
about.
though.
Simon was in love with Jack, yo. He was so in love with
for
him.
real.
He just wanted his little boyfriend on his little island. They were supposed to pretend like he was Fiji, and then he started doing all that weird shit, painting his face and picking up spears and shit. He said, "I'm not fucking with that shit no more. Actually, I want to date Ralph now." He's like, "You give me the ick, so I'm going to stay with Ralph now because Ralph kind of cute and I like that." So right, and they said, "Yo, word. So you just not rocking with me." So to put it in context, Simon and Jack were part of like the choir team of their school. And
hell no, we're not doing a synopsis, bro.
I'm not getting deep into it. Relax, yo. God, mad meat munching, like shit.
Yo, munching, gooch licking.
Yo,
I was wondering.
Gooch FC, bro.
I was wondering when we would get to the point of brain rot, like again after switching formats, and I think we've reached it.
Full circle, bro.
Right,
bro. Don't wish that on me. My brain's still working. Don't wish that on me. I'll rebuke you.
But yeah, no, Simon and Jack, they were choir boys before the plane crash. And so they had a bond. And they were roommates. They had a bond prior to the crash. And once they crashed on the island, Jack just flipped his switch, really took on a different role when it came to the group. And Jack Simon saw that, didn't really like how it was going. He was not rocking with it. And honestly, no. Simon wasn't built to last on the island.
I mean, not just that, but like Jack kept bitching his shit specifically. Him specifically.
Yeah.
Like Jack was trying to bitch everybody, but like when it was Simon, he was like, "Bro, why are you even speaking right now? Why are you even speaking?"
Yeah, he would just point him out. Just like I'm
like, yo, leave that little nigga alone. He got a point. Like, hello. No,
but essentially, some kids die on this island as these kids are trying to struggle for power, and it all comes to this sort of really, really chaotic conclusion where
they start hunting
Ralph. They start hunting Ralph.
Unpopular
who was
opinion.
Pretty much Ralph was like the angel on the shoulder of the group.
Unpopular opinion. Ralph is too much of a bitch to have been leader. I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
That's fair. I can 100% agree with that. I don't think Ralph was made for it either.
I think he wasn't actually leading. Like I think he was just kind of like a people pleaser.
So the problem is what happens when you have charisma but no direction. That's Ralph.
Yeah.
Ralph had hella charisma and that's why they followed him.
That's a much better description. Much better description.
Like imagine you got all the aura that's what I'm saying. Imagine you got all the aura but don't know how to aura farm. You don't know how to lean up against a wall and use that shit. You just standing there.
Jack though. For all that Jack was, Jack did have aura.
Bitch ass nigga aura. That's what he had.
Yeah, because
Potter.
I feel like when it came down to it, he was just like, what he really was.
That nigga just aggressive.
Like I feel like they're just opposites, like in that way.
Yeah,
because he can outwardly like have leadership, but inside,
are they opposites though?
Inside he's weak. Like because like you know that scene where he's like trying to climb the rock and he's just like gets scared and he's just like okay goes down and he's crying. He's like don't tell anybody. Like,
but if you peep in both scenarios, because like Ganesh said, they're not really opposites. They're really the same type of person. They're the same type of person,
themselves, right? You know, they present themselves as one thing in front of other people, but when they're finally really isolated and alone,
they're both some bitch ass niggas, right? And their second in command is the real nigga that stands in that, right?
Because put some respect on Nicholas.
Because Big Nicky, that's a real leader. He said, "No, we got logistics. We got to figure out where we shitting at, where we eating.
We got to care for the little ones, yeah.
We got to care for little niggas. Like that's community organizer. Like I fuck with Big Nicky, yo. Put some respect on his name. Give that nigga his glasses, yo. You take his glasses, I'm fucking you up, yo. Like I'm not playing, right? But then with Jack, right? Jack acting like he this big macho aggression nigga, but really he just a little bitch. Roger though.
Roger.
That's a real demon. That's a real demon.
Yeah. Roger from the Bronx, bro. Nah, Roger from Blackpool, England, bro.
Roger said, "Oh, we can't find that nigga. Burn the whole forest. Smoke that nigga out."
No hesitation. This little 6-year-old, bro.
I'm like, nigga, you 11, 12 years old. Like, why are you playing guerrilla warfare right now? You are scary.
Nah, bro. He listened to too much SD Kid.
Nigga's the last disciple of Vaughn, bro.
So they end up trying to smoke Ralph out, and as Ralph is kind of just engulfed in this forest fire that's happening on this island, Ralph
niggas getting wounded and shit, like
crazy. He eventually finds his way out of the forest, and he stumbles onto the beach, and he's kind of clamoring for his sort of group that he's assembled while on the island. He's yelling this way. He yells that way. He takes a moment. What does he see?
Well, actually, at that point, he actually gave up. At that point, he said, "You know what? Fuck it. Y'all can kill me. Where are you? I'm done. I'm done. Just kill me. I'm done." And did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that?
Yeah, I did.
I heard something.
Yeah.
That was my Alexa say, "It's time for bed."
Oh.
He's like, go to sleep.
But
that's what the captain said. That's what
the captain pulled up on the island. He said, "What are y'all doing on here?"
Yo, this captain clueless as hell, bro. He was bitching this shit. He said there ain't no real leader. There's no real leader amongst you.
This nigga said, aren't y'all British? Why y'all ain't got no civilized manners and shit? I'm like, yo, you are dumber than a bag of bricks. You see this one little boy beat the fuck up, bleeding and shit, and you see these little boys behind him chasing after him, and they got spears.
Straight up.
I was like, I would have put two and two together. I said, y'all about to kill this little nigga?
It's crazy.
Low key though, the captain being cool as the fuck saved him too, because if he started saying, and all of you got something wrong with you trying to kill this little boy, they would have jumped him too. And listen, he may be a grown ass man.
Do you think they would have jumped him?
Mob mentality. That's where they got it. At that point in time in their group, it was the mob mentality.
I think it was the mob mentality, but also at the same time, it's this other position of authority that being a grown-up has. And especially since he is a captain, he is like, you can tell he has a position of authority. So ultimately, it's like, do I really want to mess with that?
But, okay, so true. And that is a layer of protection there. But when you poke a mob aggressively, they jump you.
But that's the thing, though. I feel like they didn't really get to that point. They didn't lose humanity on the island. You know, they still had that capability. They lost
the same show.
Oh no, they lost. They lost a good amount of it, but they didn't fully lose it because they were still able to retain, like, sort of.
Did we watch the same show? So you know what it is? We have to discuss what is the trigger for losing humanity, and can you get it back? That's what it's really about.
Let's talk about it.
Right? Because it's an argument. It's an argument, and there's like plenty of philosophers that get into it. Like, I'm gonna be meta contextual since y'all always want to yell at me. Oh, he's bringing other shit into it. That's what makes a review interesting. Fuck y'all.
No, you're not wrong.
John
I
Locke,
love that.
John Locke and what was it? Thomas Hobbes, I think. Right?
We going way back.
Yes, two philosophers that argue about the inherent nature of man, whether the inherent nature of man is war, like these boys are talking about, or will people gather together and unite and civilize and whatever like that, which is relates to the whole concept of why this book exists. Because like in the context of why this book was written, the British writers had this whole thing of like making boys' own adventures in which like they show that British values and morality and whatever is better than the whole world, and they can overcome everything because they're British and proper and good. And the writer
Hold up, somebody's mic. My bad.
I think it's yours, Jaydon.
Somebody's mic was acting up.
Is it mine?
I think so.
I think it might.
I'm hearing it too.
There was like a bunch of pitter patter going on.
Like, clack.
Maybe you're hearing it like scratch up. My fault.
Maybe you're good, but sort of British literature touching on,
Yeah, making boys sound like they're above all like the sicknesses of humanity or whatever like that. And the creator of this was like, no, there's no guarantee that boys left alone would, come together, ship shape and do the right thing and everything like that. And this book is a commentary on that context. You know what I mean? So I think the philosophies of this conversation, what is the line that delineates between being civilized or being barbaric? And honestly, like if I'm being like truthfully honest, like 100%, there is no defining line. That's the hard part. You know what I mean? You can be socialized right, because again, right, in the context of British socialization, they have proper manners and they were groomed into being, well-off boys or whatever like that, but they still became barbaric. I don't think there's a specified line that can do that. I think fear is one of those main ones. You know what I mean? The fear of, are we even going to be saved? Because by this point, it was also the idea of like, we don't think that there's any coming back from this anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think the fact that like, oh, we actually can come out of that, I think that's what snapped them out of it more than anything.
There was kind of like this sort of atmosphere around seeing that adult and seeing the ship in the distance where it was almost like, all right, playtime's over in a sort of...
Right. And I think the thing for me is like, I don't know if they necessarily and I think it's left ambiguous at the end on purpose. I don't know if their humanity just came back like that, because if you look at their faces, they kind of go gray after that, right? Gaining your humanity back is remembering everything that you did and feeling remorse.
I think another aspect, though, that is important to note is the fact that they're children. Like when you're an adult coming from like quote unquote civilized to like a barbaric, losing your humanity, I feel like it's a kind of different conversation than a child, because what they were trying to do, especially like with Jack and Nicholas, like they're basically acting on what they learned in the beginning. You know what I mean? It's not like they are dependent kids. Like they are always dependent on somebody, on adults. Mm-hmm. They're only doing what they perceive that they learned. You know what I mean? Their perception of what their superiors are like. But when that's taken away after a while, when there's no safety to get back to as a child, no one to depend on but yourself, I feel like it becomes a nature versus nurture thing where it's not so much inhumanity per se. Like it could be perceived as inhumanity, but I feel like certain parts of it can also be perceived as just instinct.
Yeah.
But I think that is also humanity. That's the thing. That's why I said
I'm saying, like nature versus nurture. Like you're taught a certain way, but when your environment changes, like your instincts change. And I feel like that's what happened to each of these characters, but based on what they've learned, they perceive things differently.
Mhm.
I feel like Jack,
And-
like coming from a position of power, such as something as like little as a choir. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, head choir boy.
Translated into just you're with other people who are just younger than you or your same age. You're just trying to still be that leader. You know what I mean? You're still trying to be just that person. Well, I'm the top dog. And because of that, it just ends up chaining into something else. So it turns into something where it's I have to keep this up. But
So let me ask you this: do you think that the barbarism that the boys displayed is inherent or learned behavior?
well, I think it's a little bit of both, honestly, because definitely, like I said, I think especially it's easier to say for Jack. I think it's just the easiest for me to talk about, just because he's the one who's fresh in my head for some reason. But like, I feel like he has this perception of what he learned based on how he talks about his father. Talks about where he comes from. And I feel like it's not just what he learned in itself, it's how he perceives what he learned and his ideals on those lessons, which could be said like, oh, he took them the wrong way, or they were taken the wrong way later. Like are you hearing me? Oh, they like they transformed into something later on. So that's why I feel like it's the environment of the island definitely kind of turned it into something else.
Yeah, it's like a nature and nurture.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a mix.
Yeah, I mean, all
I agree with
humans
that.
are different. We all operate differently, especially based on our upbringings.
Mhm.
But I mean, you could kind of tell how these kids were brought up based on how they interact on the island, and especially when it comes to even the little ones. They're basically a fresh slate. They haven't really gotten that much. So I mean,
I think
yeah,
I think that's the appeal of making the story about children rather than grown people, because the closeness to like the purity of nature, you would find it more in kids than you would grown adults.
And
You know
another
what I
thing
mean?
is that they're still easily moldable.
Yeah,
Their
right.
minds are still developing,
and that's
even the little ones don't really have a good sense for what's right and what's wrong.
and that's why it's like, even though there's such savage actions within Lord of the Flies, there's also this sense of innocence throughout, because
And there is a sense of forgiveness as well.
Yeah, because they're children. You know what I mean? I think having them as kids really does like highlight the complexity of humanity.
I forgive everybody but Roger and Jack. I'm so sorry.
That's valid. That's valid.
Right.
They were old enough. They were old enough to get a good understanding.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think 12 is still too young, because that's the thing. The oldest of them is 12. I still think it's too young. However, personally, my personal beef, right? Again, Jack, you didn't need to move like that. I would have killed you night one. I'm not gonna lie. But Roger,
Roger's
you
a
killed
demon,
Nick-
bro.
when you killed Nikki, yo,
I mean, yeah, there's this definitely like, I mean, that's the other part of it too. Like your personality in itself. Everyone kind of, even though they have their upbringing or their influence, they have their own individual personality. Like, despite how we were raised, we perceive it in one way and we become who we decide to be, or who we instinctively are. And
I need y'all to understand something. If we ever get stranded on an island, I will do whatever it takes to make sure we all survive, because I love y'all dearly, and even in that type of scenario, that would always remain. If you start moving like Jack, I'm sliming you out.
Understandable.
I'm sliming you out.
Understandable.
don't worry.
I don't think you two would act like that.
Don't worry. We'll all be on the raft instead of the yacht. I'll be on the raft.
I feel like that's even scarier, yo. I feel like being on a raft instead of an island is even scarier. That's like Life of
hell.
Pi. That's Life of Pi right there.
That's all water, bro.
All water,
I'll
yeah.
stay on the island.
Give me the island, yo.
Give me the island. I'm gonna just start a signal fire.
Mm-hmm. Setting half the whole fucking island on fire. That shit was
Not a
so
damn
crazy.
forest fire. That was crazy. But
That
hey, I
shit was
mean,
so
it got
crazy.
the attention. It got the attention of the ships.
It did.
Um,
It did. You did.
Well, what would you guys rate it?
Oh man. Well,
Um,
it is a TV series, so as a whole, it's definitely a different rating from a movie. I love giving series like sevens, but honestly, I'll probably give this one. Honestly, really stellar performances from these child actors, which we don't
dead
talk.
ass.
We did
Yeah.
not talk about enough, but like we got to give credit where credit's due. Like especially
Yeah.
with Jack, like. It was less than 5 minutes of seeing him on screen. I was like, yeah, this dude's playing Malfoy. Like that's
Yeah,
Draco
I
Malfoy
love how
right
you
there.
knew. I love how I was like, I didn't
Yeah.
even know that, and then you told me. I said, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, really, really good performances from these kids. Which I mean, I'm excited to see where they go from here. But other than that, I really enjoyed the cinematography. Soundtrack was,
Cinematography was top done.
Yo, the color.
yo, the leaves were red.
The color. Like yeah, the color. The colors
Effects.
of and the saturation of the thing. That visual look was very interesting. It's very,
Yeah, they definitely did a good
very
job.
intense. Like it just gave this
Yeah.
very intense look throughout the whole thing that made everything kind of very like eerie.
It helped.
Yeah, the
put
framing
things
of
into
everything was
perspective.
great too.
It helped put things into perspective as to how it might look for the kids. You know, they've
Yeah.
just been stranded. You know,
Like
it's
that
scary.
cave, the framing of that cave, and like as it like slowly droned in to the cave and everything like that, like the cave that had the water and everything like that, like shit like that really does capture like the eeriness of certain parts of the island, yo.
And even
Yeah,
the
but, I mean-
pacing, while like I'm not gonna judge the pacing. I know that was such like that was a choice that was very intentional and you could tell. And while I couldn't really focus because of it, I don't judge it and I actually think that it was a good thing for the project.
Yeah, I think the intentions behind it would succeed if we were not people with ADHD.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
as somebody that hasn't been diagnosed, I will give it honestly a solid 8 out of 10 with the series. I feel like they executed really well on certain areas. There weren't really any misses on my end, but is it something that I would recommend? Maybe not to everybody. It definitely wouldn't sit well with specific groups of people, but for what it is, I definitely think there is a story here to tell, and there are different things that you could grab from it. So I can respect that with an 8.
Yeah, I also give it an 8. I'm not gonna lie. Again, solid all around. Like I said, the only thing for me is like there were certain moments where I just had a hard time maintaining my focus. You know, I can blame that on myself, but you know, it's not like a high octane suspense show. You know, and that's okay. And I think for the psychologicalness of it, I think it was generally great. Give me 1 second, yo.
It's for me.
What did you think, Braulio?
I'm probably gonna give it an 8 as well. I know I did not watch the whole thing.
Damn.
I just didn't really
This
get
show 8.
I just didn't really get a chance to like sit down and watch it. And plus, every time I did, I also had that issue. But as far as like our discussion went, and you know, reading the book like a long ass time ago, and just watching enough of it to see all these things kind of come to fruition, like it was very interesting, and I think it was a great way to, you know, push the themes of the book and really focus on what the book is trying to tell visually. And I think they did a very good job.
Did you guys read the book before?
Yep.
I read it in middle school, long time ago.
Yeah,
I read it
same.
outside of school.
Yeah, I read it in middle school. It was a while ago.
But
So
with that said, I think our episode is coming to a close. But before we wrap up, we gotta do our recommendations.
Hell yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got y'all. Jack Ryan Ghost War. I'm not done with it quite yet, so I might give a review. I haven't watched any of the Jack Ryan stuff prior, but my dad commandeered the TV and started watching it, and I stayed, and that shit is a good spy thriller psyop movie. Shit was fun.
As for me, over the weekend, I watched a Netflix movie that came out a month ago. It was me, Nancy, and her brother that watched it. It's called Apex. It's with Charlize Theron and damn it, I forgot his name. His last name is Edgerton. What's his first name?
Taryn? Or no?
Hold up. I think. Hold up. I got it. Yeah, Taryn. You're right. Taryn Edgerton. It's basically about. Well, actually, I don't want to say too much because I think watching it blind is really good. It's definitely.
I'll read the synopsis that I got pulled up right here. Hunt, survive. A grieving woman pushing her limits on a solo adventure in the Australian wild is ensnared in a twisted game with a cunning killer who thinks she's prey. Does that do a good job describing it?
Yeah. I think watching it blind is pretty good, but because I watched it not knowing shit about it, and there was definitely that twist where you didn't know that you could sense something was wrong with the guy, but didn't really know until the mood very shifts. It's not the best movie ever, but it was definitely a nice watch. I definitely sat and watched and paid attention to the whole thing. I think it's just a nice pastime movie to watch if you have no idea what to watch.
I guess my recommendation, I always do either a music or a book. This time, I got a book right here. I know it's probably going to be reversed on the screen, but we got Superman Smashes the Klan. So,
is it that type of Klan?
It is that type of Klan, and shockingly enough, this is a children's book. So,
hell yeah!
Wow.
The year is 1946. Teenagers Roberta and Tommy Lee just moved in with their parents from Chinatown to the center of Metropolis, home to the famous hero Superman. Tommy makes friends quickly while Roberta pines for home. Then one night, the family awakens to find their house surrounded by the Klan. Superman leaps into action, but his exposure to kryptonite has left him weak. Can Roberta and Tommy help him smash the Klan? This has been what I've been reading as I go to sleep because I need something to wind down after my long days. And honestly, this has just been very heartwarming, very close to home, being the child of immigrant parents, experiencing racism as a child growing up. It's an overall nice book that I really do feel can connect with a lot of readers, young and old. But yeah, Superman Smashes the Klan. That's my recommendation.
Solid recommendation.
I'm gonna be looking for that.
Solid. But with that said, we will see you guys on the next one. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. We're almost at 100 subscribers, and we want to get there before our 1 year anniversary. So, with that said,
get there before my birthday. My birthday, June 7th.
Look, I'm not gonna say what it is, but we got something very exciting for next episode that we're going to review. So, look forward to that next week.
Yes.
With that said, peace out.
Peace.
Peace out.